We're going to start off with some vocab here. Similar figures are figures that are the same shape but different sizes. Another word you're going to need to know is corresponding, and that means to have the same position on those shapes. So basically, these two right angles are in the same spot on these triangles, so they are corresponding. Another thing you're going to see is on sides when we have these tick marks. The sides that have the matching amount of tick marks are going to be corresponding. So these two sides both have one tick mark, so they're corresponding. These two sides have two tick marks, so they're going to be corresponding, and so on and so forth. And you'll also see that in angles where we have this angle and this angle both have one tick mark, so they are corresponding too. Polygons are similar when corresponding angles are congruent, which means that they are the same measure, and the lengths of those corresponding sides of those shapes have to be proportional. So to find a missing side, you set up your WGU table, then a proportion, and solve for the missing side. Your W will always be short side over long side, and that's very important because we're going to use that on every problem. To find out if two figures are similar, you set up a proportion using corresponding sides and check to see if the proportions are equal. So we're going to do some examples now. The first thing you'll notice when we do one of these problems with triangles is that you need to make the triangles face the same way. So on this one, our short side is here, our long side is here, and our right angle is here. On this one, it's the opposite, so we've got to fix that. We've got to change this one so it's laid out like this one. So what we're going to do is redraw this triangle so that the right angle is here, our short side is this side, and our long side is this side. So on this triangle, the X is the short side, so we're going to draw our X here, and our long side is 5. So we're going to put our 5 there. So now we need to make our WGU chart. So WGU, and up here, like we said, your W will always be short side over long side, so that's important. So we have short side, or SS, and then long side, or LS. And what we are given is what we're going to take from this big triangle where we have both of those sides. So our short side on the big triangle is 6. Our long side on the big triangle is 10. So we put those numbers in. Where we are unknown is over here. So on this one, our long side is 5. And our unknown is X. That's the missing side. That's the one we want to find. So we cross multiply. And what we get is 10x equals 30. Then we have to divide by 10 to get x by itself. And what you should get is 30 divided by 10 equals 3. So x equals 3. And we got to put our unit, so centimeters. So that's how you find the missing side. This one is a little bit different because we have these tick marks that we learned about up when we reviewed what corresponding is. So basically, we need to make these triangles the same layout, and we need to make these tick marks line up, match up on the same, facing the same way. So we're going to move this big one here. We're going to redraw it. Kind of like this, not much of an artist. And so our 1 tick mark angle is up here. Now our 2 tick mark angle is over here to the left, and our 3 tick mark angle is over here to the right. And that's good because now we can actually solve the problem. So now we have to move all of our numbers. This side is now 28. The bottom is still 56, and this side is X. So now we're going to set up our WGU again. It's always short side over long side. And what we are given in this triangle when we pick our short side over our long side is our short side over here is 8 and our long side is 12. So now we go over to this triangle. Our short side here is 28, and our long side is x, and that's the missing side. That's what we need to find. So we cross multiply again. We're going to have to do some math here. 8x equals, and we're going to multiply these. So I'm going to do that. And that will add up to 336. So what we get is 8x equals 336. So now we have to divide by 8. And I'll just go ahead and tell you that 336 divided by 8 is going to be 42. So x equals 42. And that means our missing side is 42. So our answer is 42 centimeters. So now we're going to go on to one that uses rectangles, which is a little bit easier because you don't really have to set it up as much.
Solon Tidwell, your ride is waiting out front.
We just make our WGU chart. And short side over long side like usual. Then what we are given in this triangle is 9 and 18. 9 is obviously the short side since it's smaller. So 9 and 18. On this one we do the same thing. Our short side is a question mark, which we're going to put as an x since we recognize the x. 50 is our long side. So we cross multiply again. So we get 18x equals, and we have to multiply. And because this is a 50, 9 times 5 is 45, so we're just going to add the 0 to give us 450. Then we divide. And again, I'm just going to tell you that 450 divided by 18 is 25. So x equals 25, and that makes our missing side 25 meters. And you have to put the unit if it gives you one. That's very important. So now this one is a little bit intimidating at first. It can be a little scary because it looks like there's a bunch of shapes in there. But really this is just two triangles. So we're going to do the same process that we did on these two with this one. So we're going to go ahead and make our WGU chart. Short side over long side. And what we are given, we're going to use a big triangle here because there is one big triangle and then there's a little one in the middle. Obviously the little one, this line is where the x comes from. So the little one is the one with the x. So the big one is where we're going to take our given from. To find this side, obviously we need to add 6 plus 4. So we get a total of 10 for this side. So our short side on the big whole triangle is 10, and our long side is 15. What is unknown is the little triangle. So we can ignore this 4 and this 10 for our little triangle, and we just have 6 and x. So our short side is 6 on the little triangle, and our long side on the little triangle is unknown. That's x. That's what we need to find.
Jana Waterhouse to the office. Jana Waterhouse.
So we're going to cross multiply again. And we get 10x equals whatever 6 times 15 is. So that gives us 90. And 90 divided by 10 is just 9. So x equals 9. And that is our missing side. Now we're going to go on to some word problems. We're going to have to set it up by ourselves. But it's not hard, just different. So a building is 70 feet high and casts a 150-foot shadow. A nearby flagpole casts a 60-foot shadow. How tall is the flagpole? So we're going to draw a picture here. And I'm going to attempt to draw a building. It's not very straight, but it'll work. So this is 70 feet high. And it casts a 150-foot shadow. So we're going to draw our shadow here. And that's 150. A nearby flagpole casts a 60-foot shadow. So here's our flagpole, and it casts a smaller 60-foot shadow. I should put feet. So how tall is the flagpole? Well, we need to know how tall the flagpole is, and so that's going to make our flagpole X, because X signifies what is missing and what we need to find. So you should notice that this is almost like a triangle without the long side at the end. We have this side and this side, this side and this side. So we're going to make our WGU chart. And short side over long side, just like the other ones. And what we are given, we're going to use this one because we have both sides. So our short side on the given one is 70. That's the height of the building. And then the shadow it casts is 150. That's our long side. Unknown on our short side is going to be X, because that is the one we don't know. And then our other one is 60. So now we have to cross multiply, and I'll go to this notebook paper to do some of this work. So we have 150x equals, we know 7 times 6 is 42, so we can just add 2 zeros to 42, and that gives us 4,200. Then we divide by 150. And to save a little bit of time, I'm just going to tell you that that is going to come out to 28. So that means that our missing length of the flagpole is going to be 28 feet. Remember to put your unit. So it's not hard to set up these word problems. Let's try another one. A photograph measuring 4 inches wide and 5 inches long is enlarged to make a wall mural. If the mural is 120 inches wide, how long is the mural? So of course we're going to set up our photograph. I'm going to do it in the shape of a rectangle. It is 4 inches wide, 4 inches, and then 5 inches long. So it's enlarged to make a wall mural. So here's our mural. And this one is 120 inches wide. How long is the mural? So we're looking for the length of the mural, which means this one is going to be our X, because that's the one we don't know. That's the one we need to find. So we're going to make another WGU chart. And of course, hopefully you recognize this by now, short side over long side. What we are given is from this small one, and our short side on that one is 4 because it's smaller, and 5 because that's a bigger one. Unknown, our 120 goes with our 4, so that's our shorter side, and what we need to find is X. So we're going to do some cross multiplication. And we have 4x equals 5 times 12 is 60, so we just add a 0 to give us 600. And then we're going to divide by 4. And I will save some time again and just tell you that 600 divided by 4 is 150. So our missing side is 150 inches long. And that's our answer to that one. So none of this is really that hard, it just takes some repetition. So hopefully you got the gist of it, and we'll go over more of this in class, obviously. So have a good day.